Have you ever felt like you've got some kind of invisible narcissist magnet attached to your forehead? Like, no matter where you go, no matter how big the crowd, they always seem to find you. It's like you could walk into a room full of 100 people, and somehow the narcissist locks in on you like a heat-seeking missile. I used to think it was just bad luck. I even started wondering, is there something wrong with me? But let me tell you something I've learned the hard way. It's not luck. And it's definitely not because there's anything wrong with you. Narcissists are drawn to something in you. It's your light, your empathy, your ability to connect deeply. That's what makes you a magnet for these kinds of people. And while that light is beautiful, it also makes us targets for people who see it as something they can use for their own gain. Let me share a story with you. I remember someone I thought was my closest friend. You know, the type. She made me feel like I was the only one who truly got her. Like, we had this rare, unspoken connection. At first I thought, wow, we're kindred spirits. But over time, something shifted. It was subtle at first. She started stirring up drama everywhere she went, prodding people, provoking them, just to stay at the center of attention. But here's where it gets tricky. Whenever I tried to pull back, set a boundary, or even just breathe, she'd hit me with lines like, "You're the only one I can trust," or "Remember everything I've done for you?" And I'd second guess myself. Was I being a bad friend? Was I overreacting? Then it hit me. She didn't miss me. When I wasn't around, she just missed what I gave her, the energy, the validation, the attention. She didn't see me as a person. She saw me as a role I was playing in her life. And when I stopped playing that role, she just moved on to someone else. And that's when I realized something crucial. Narcissists don't want you. They want what you give. And if you're an empath like me, you've probably felt this dynamic before, where you bend your boundaries, your energy, even your sense of self, just to keep the peace. And you tell yourself, if I just give a little more, if I just explain myself better, they'll finally understand, they'll change. And let's be real, they don't change because they're not looking for understanding, they're looking for control. Think about it. Narcissists operate from a place of emptiness. Beneath the charm, beneath the confidence is a fragile ego that constantly needs to be fed. They can't create their own sense of self-worth. So they latch onto people like us, natural givers, who see the best in everyone. Even when it's buried so deep, it's practically fossilized. And at first, it's subtle. Maybe they interrupt you or dismiss your feelings. Maybe they ask for little favors that inconvenience you. And because you don't want to seem selfish or mean, you let it slide. But over time, those little things turn into big things. And suddenly, you're pouring from an empty cup. I've been there. I've had moments where I thought, am I the problem? Am I too sensitive? But once you start noticing the patterns, it becomes impossible to unsee them. One person would guilt trip me for not dropping everything to help them, while another would mirror my values and dreams so perfectly it felt like we were soulmates. But it wasn't real. It was all a game to keep me in their orbit. And when I tried to set boundaries, that's when the games got ugly. They'd call me selfish, cold, ungrateful. And for a while, I believed them. But here's what I need you to hear. It's not you. It was never you. Narcissists don't miss you. When you're gone, they miss the energy you gave them, the validation, the attention. But the version of you that you know, that's not what they miss. They miss the version of you that they created in their head that they're trying to pull you back into. It's never been real. From the start, they have just been trying to groom you into like this cookie cutter shape. It's the version of you that they created in their mind, like a role that they assigned you. And the second you stop playing that role, they'll either discard you or try to reel you back in out of guilt, nostalgia, or love bombing. So how do we break free? It starts with recognizing the pattern, paying attention to how often you're bending your boundaries, how often you're leaving an interaction feeling drained, questioning yourself. Those feelings are your red flags. Trust them. Next, boundaries. And I know as empaths that it just feels like the hardest thing in the world at first. But boundaries, they aren't about shutting people out. They're about protecting your energy. And truthfully, in all relationships, we need boundaries. It's not just for yourself, but also for the other person. They kind of serve as like guidelines on how you like to be treated. And so that there's not going to be resentment on your side or on their side. Like, boundaries are good. When there's not boundaries, it's just messy. And when you're protecting your energy, it's not just for yourself. You're doing it for everyone around you. You're doing it for the people who truly deserve the best of you. And finally, the hardest truth of all, you can't heal a narcissist. Their behavior isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their emptiness. But you can heal yourself. You can reclaim your energy. You can rebuild your self-esteem, and you can create relationships that uplift you instead of just drain you. Narcissists, they need like therapy, and they need to do a lot of work that most of them, they're not willing to do it. Like, they're comfortable in their ways. So trying to heal someone who is like reveling in the dynamic that's there, it's not going to work if they're just using that for access to you, if they're just using that to get what they need. Like, it's not something that you can't heal for somebody else. You just can't. If you ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, I want you to know this. You're not broken. You're not alone. Narcissists are drawn to your light because it's powerful. And once you recognize your power, you can start protecting it. So here's my challenge to you. Take some time this week. Reflect on your relationships. Are there people in your life who make you question your worth? Oh, right there. The person who just came to your mind, that person, watch them. I want you to go in your notes, and every time they say something that's a bit strange, or that kind of hurt my feelings, you got to write it down. And over time, you're going to begin to see a pattern, and you're going to see that, is this person really supposed to be in my life? Are they truly giving me back what I give them? You're going to see that. Like, you don't need to allow people to drain your energy anymore. And you just got to start thinking, what's one boundary, even if it's small, that you can set today? It could be as simple as saying, I need some time to think about that, instead of just jumping to meet the other person's needs. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. What's one thing you've learned about navigating relationships with narcissists? And if this resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be diving deeper into healing, personal growth, and reclaiming your power in upcoming videos. Protect your light, Mahavani tribe. Until next time.